Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Buddyfight deck profile update video. So I'm updating the Danger World deck of Dangerous Veggies today, and when Dangerous Veggies came out they were already pretty solid and they got a lot of new support between then and this Climax booster, Ultimate Unite, and they got a lot of new tools to add to their toolbox. So I'm really going to be only covering the new cards that they got. So with all that being said, I'm running 2 copies of Spring Onion Sniper. He's pretty good because his passive ability when he's on the field is when a dangerous veggie on your field would be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, you could pay 1 life. If you do, that card remains on the field. This is a solid way of making sure that you're getting the dangerous veggies destruction effects when you want and not when your opponent wants. And then he also has the added benefit of when this card is destroyed, destroy a card on your opponent's field. That's very, very powerful right now because there's a lot of problematic set spells and items that you'd want to pick off, on top of which if they have a set impact or monsters without protection, you could also pick those off as well. Overall, a very, very strong card. Next, I'm running 2 copies of Baby Corn. Dangerous Veggies on your center get Penetrate and Counterattack, which is already pretty strong. Then he has a counteract ability. During your attack phase, choose an original size 3 dangerous veggie on your field. You may put this card from the field into its soul. If you do, stand the card up. Rest spells are very, very powerful and the prominent form of defense spells right now. So being able to stand up your dangerous veggie from being rested is very, very powerful. On top of which, when this card is destroyed, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and gain 1 life. So when he's destroyed, you gain even more resources. Next, I'm running 2 copies of Strategic Arms Dangerous Vegan Fried Rice. So it has basically 2 different ways of calling it. Its initial call cost is put 2 or more dangerous veggies monsters with different names from your field into its soul and pay 2 gauge. Or it has the counteract ability where you could basically pay 2 life and call this on top of a dangerous veggie monster without paying its call cost. Being able to call it at counter speed is very, very powerful because it can be used both offensively and defensively to either help block attacks or help get extra attacks out. On top of which, he has the ability when this card enters the field, choose up to 1 dangerous veggie monster in its soul, and this card gets all abilities of that card until it leaves the field. Most of the time, you're going to want to try to call this over Vegan Curry, because that way, if you call it on top of Curry and then call Curry's ability, he'll get all of the abilities of all of the other dangerous veggies in its soul. Next, I'm running 3 copies of Super Onion Splash. This was a promo card that we finally got access to, and its cast cost is pay 1 life, and then you get to choose one of the following 2. Either put a dangerous veggie monster from your drop zone into your hand, so that way you could kind of recycle your dangerous veggies, or you can choose a dangerous veggie card on your field, and for this turn, if it were to be destroyed, it remains on the field. So again, it's acting kind of the similar way of Spring Onion Sniper, where you want to get the on-destruction effects when you want and not when the opponent wants. Next, I'm running 3 copies of Green Onion Sniper. Its cast cost is pay 1 life, and then you get to choose one of the following 2. You could either call a dangerous veggie from your hand by paying its call cost, or you could destroy a monster on the field. Both effects are very, very strong because being able to countercall a dangerous veggie is very, very powerful, and also having the option to trigger an on-death effect when we want is also very, very powerful. And then lastly, I'm running 2 copies of Time General Tubocas. So his first effect is at counter speed. You can drop this card from your hand if you do gain 3 life. That's not the important thing. The important thing is it gets him into the drop because the deck already has a whole bunch of ways of gaining life, but more life gain isn't the worst thing, especially if you're going second, because it could help prevent you from getting OTK'd. On top of which, the primary effect is counteract. Choose a card on your opponent's field. You may destroy a monster on your field and put this card from the drop zone to the bottom of the deck. If you do, destroy the chosen card. Just like Spring Onion Sniper, it's another way to pick off cards on the opponent's field, on top of which it's also destroying one of our dangerous veggies, triggering their on destruction effect. Very, very powerful and has very high synergy with the deck overall. As far as the rest of the deck, just a couple of ratios had changed just to try to accommodate the new cards, and I did formulate a pseudo sideboard for the deck. Going over that pretty quickly, I'm running 2 copies of Loyalty because it's loyalty, 2 copies of Buddy Block, 2 copies of Buddy Fighters Without Limits, 2 copies of Fang Dragon Declaration, and 2 additional copies of Time General Tubocas. As far as some of the other cards that you could possibly run, Major Onion is pretty good. Captain Asparagus is pretty good. You could also run P-Bean. Bean is pretty interesting in which he is the anti-bounce card for the deck, and when he's destroyed, you get to bounce a card on your opponent's field back to their hand. But I don't feel like bouncing is very strong in the game right now, which is why I prefer not to run him. You could also run on the same boat as a Hazardous Dragon, so this is a pretty strong card for the deck in which its cast cost is just paying a life. That's not that big of a deal because the deck has a whole bunch of ways of gaining life. And then you get to put the top card of your deck into your gauge and put a monster from your drop zone into the soul of a monster item on your field, which is very, very good for our size 3s because it just gives them not only another soul, but another effect because of Vegan Curry's ability. And then you could run Lost World in the deck still, but I feel like with all of the new cards, it doesn't necessarily need Lost World, but you're more than welcome to run Lost World if you want. So that's it for all of the big updates to the deck. As always, I'll have the deck list in the description below as well as a link to the original video. And as always, in the comments, feel free to tell me what you would have liked to see in the deck or what you want to change about the deck. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe for more Buddy Fight content, and I will see you in the next video.